Different avenue. Hubert Patterer, the CEO, the editor-in-chief, is now here with us. Good afternoon. If you're still capable of listening, thank you very much for the kind introduction, even though I have to sort of reduce your expectations somewhat because I don't have any hero saga or final report, just an intermediate report, maybe a midterm review, because times are not really good for final things or final truths. Still, I think it is an intermediate report that gives us a lot of hope in our editorial department, and we would like to carry this forward. So what we heard was that pessimism is boring, so forget about pessimism. Who are we? We are a regional paper with a supra-regional claim. We are located in the south of Austria, so a regional paper with a supra-regional claim and a long reach. So sometimes it looks like John Denver after the American elections, and on the right, the biggest religious community in Graz, so to speak, namely FK Sturm Graz, the football association, football club, that sometimes sticks to our expectations because they won against Red Bull Salzburg, another Austrian club. But I'll stop at this point because after me as a colleague from Red Bull, and I don't want them to chase me off the stage before my time is up. So there's quite a range of different things that we do. This is our profile, our sound, as Di Lorenzo would say. We want to be the home of readers, but not a newspaper that only reports about local stuff. So forget about the facts and figures. That's from our PR department. Maybe you should focus on two figures only, namely 18 and 2014. In Styria, Carinthia, and East Tyrol, these are actually small regions, but anyway, we went deeper down and we built up 18 editorial desks. And I think that that has been the most important decision of our publishing house, because these were print editions and now they're multimedia editorial desks, and now they don't just run the print versions, the 4 or 5 pages that we print every day, but also they have an app and a website full of regional content. The second most important event came in 2014, the full integration of both departments. Actually, we had been separated. There were 2 editorial departments located in different places in our company, and the only thing that linked them was the enmity, the hostility. So what united us was our prejudice. The young people said, well, we old guys, well, we can't change, and we thought that the young guys don't know anything about journalism. So based on this prejudice, we then moved together into one editorial department. So it's a fully integrated editorial department now, so all of the different desks, all the different departments, platforms have to produce content for digital and for print. So this is a big learning experience. Of course, we need to be able to tell stories also in a digital way, including the editor-in-chief. That's completely clear. And I talked about the unmistakable character of our newspaper. I think we weren't unmistakable as far as our digital strategy is concerned. We were, well, pretty much the same as everybody else, and actually more of the same. And we gave everything away. The holiest thing that we owned, we gave away. Content is king, and we too gave away the king. And even the content, for which we asked a lot of money the day after, well, we actually made it available even in the early evening, free of charge. And to compound everything, we also had a religious dogma. The religious dogma may be known to you. It was online first. Actually, it was Nirvana first. Now, what was our strategic Nirwana all about? It dawned on us way too late that one leg alone is not enough. We found that the advertising revenue in the digital arena did not correlate with the greater reach that we obtained. The opposite was the case. So the contact prices per 1,000 users have been eroding for many years, and you know that they're single digit. So what we have found that we need to act. We need to change business as usual. We don't just want to have advertising customers, but also paying digital readers, people who are ready to pay for digital content. I was one of the ringleaders of this one group. Unfortunately, I didn't have a qualified majority in our publishing house. We're talking about the year 2016, and we had at the time a very passionate internal discussion. And meanwhile, well, it took on religious connotations or characteristics, almost like a war, because we had two different dogmas. Some wanted to increase our reach, and they focused on the management of the advertisement, and we focused on content. So this internal war of dogmas was only resolved when we in the management told the people in the management of advertisement that they can lower their target. So the 600,000 euros that they were expected to generate by way of revenue for advertisement, well, I can tell you that not a single cent of what we were ready to well, contribute in addition in order to make up for this shortfall, well, not a single cent was needed to be invested. So, of course, we could not do this unprepared, and we started by going through the presentation of our digital content. We tried to use a differentiated approach. It was more intuition than knowledge, but we knew that this is where growth happened, and we started with a mobile platform, a live staging, and then there was the print paper. It was more clearly delimited from the digital offer, so that nobody could say we are, well, asking for money for one and the same content in the digital and in the print world. We then continued to develop our content. We expanded our push service and the video content, especially the local content, the local moving pictures. My last video was when Arnold Schwarzenegger got the Ring of Honor in Graz. The video is not going to get a Pulitzer Prize, but anyway, it was quite useful and had a lot of clicks. Now, it was very early that we decided to choose the premium model. We're not the Handelsblatt. We cannot really boast with every single article, but maybe the idea of newspaper that we embody makes sense to many people. And we have lots of local and regional content, and we didn't want to be too dogmatic in our approach, because sometimes, maybe last week, there were major storms in Graz, And maybe we take the nucleus of the story, and around this nucleus we add complementary, more in-depth coverage, and that's for fee. So videos, a photo series, a reportage, interviews, or commentaries. We called it multiple voice storytelling, which is a bit rich, I guess. On the left, you see the concept of prices. That's our prices, and it doesn't follow any logic. I'm sure that you have your own logic. We consider this as, the easy access with $2.99 for the Kleine Smart app, and we found that it was too much, so we have to go down. So digital only is €18.99. That's relatively high, in order not to fall into the pitfall of substitution or cannibalization. Then there's a normal print subscription at $28.50, and the Meine Kleine all-inclusive at $31.50. So that's 7-day print plus digital. That's what we focused on in the first year. Our objective was to get 270,000 print subscribers and turn them into multimedia subscribers, to educate them with our offer. And this €3 more would give them a privilege, because many of them initially did not really perceive this as a privilege, that they would also get digital content on top of their print subscription. We then developed a premium model, a price model, and we decided that we wouldn't go overboard, but we have a stepped plan with 4 stages. I don't know whether you can read it from the back. Phase 1, we tried out how to deal with paid content, individual articles. So where do we draw the line? How many page impressions these articles have, what that would mean for us. So there was a dry run, so to speak. Phase 2 was the phase when we drew aside the curtain, so to speak, and revealed it to the general public, where we just added the little plus sign to the paid content, and then the users saw, oops, there's something new. And phase 3 was when we nudged the users for the first time and asked them not to pay, but to just register. You can't enter into a business model with somebody if you don't know who they are. So that was phase 3. And then phase 4 was the launch, where the paid content went live. And after this half year of internal preparation, we took the dip into the cold pool. We jumped into the cold water, and we knew that if we would jump in, we'd get wet. And my colleague from media was here before. So we committed ourselves and swore to each other that we wouldn't go overboard and, maybe get scared when we got our feet wet. And we did get our feet wet. In the first quarter, maybe 25% of the visits and the visitors and page impressions were lost on the digital platforms. Well, that wasn't pleasant these first months. And, the management of our advertisement got a bit loud, but we managed to stay calm, keep our nerve, and to continue in a focused way. And we then found that after this first quarter, we had been through the valley of the tears, and you saw that in the third quarter of 2016 we changed over, and within just 1 year we got back to the same level as before. So in May it was 352,000 visits, daily visits on average. So that's 27% more than in September of 2016, the D-Day, so to speak, where we converted the system and went live. So we didn't need this lifesaver. It's a bit misleading, and we kept our nerves. So that was the reach. What's the intermediate balance? Midterm review, we pursued two objectives. We also wanted to win over paying users for paid content and to increase loyalty. I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, we had 27,000 digital subscriptions. A bit more than 2/3 are multimedia subscriptions that we tried to focus on from the very beginning. So these are people who are print subscribers, and we made a digital offer on top of the print newspaper, so people are convinced by that. So 270,000 print readers, 27,000 digital subscriptions. That's not the smash hit, but it is an encouraging first step. And the newspaper that was redesigned, we now have a section that is called Today, where we focus on the digital offer first and foremost. That is also communicated on top of everything else. So in the first year, we had about 1.2 million sales revenue from the digital arena that we didn't have previously. We're not leaning back. We are not losing sight of our users. So every day in our editorial desk, we are asking how are the users going to react to this threshold, to this obstacle that we've built, the paywall. Are they ready to go through the paywall? What category are they ready to pay for? What category of news and what stories did they focus on most of all? Here you see the ranking of the previous year. So that was an exclusive interview with Dietrich Mateschitz, the CEO of Red Bull, where he outed himself as an angry citizen with lots of new subscriptions. Then there was an obituary of the former Syrian governor. So it doesn't necessarily have to be sex and crime stories only. And what we're seeing is that it is the regional and the local content that constitute the most important lever for such an event. So that's the results of the last 30 days, paid conversion. We had much better months, but what we're seeing is that we can and have to increase our local core skills. That's a big lever, and we need more empathy, more affection, and especially we need to put order in this world that is often disrupted. Now, what are some of the mistakes we made? Well, many, first of all, and we weren't really a service and a communication company that we thought that we were. So as far as this project is concerned, we were way too bureaucratic when it came to filling in things, forms, whatever. So the big obstacle wasn't so much the paid content model, but we ourselves stood in our own way. Our inability to make it easy for the interested users. There was a big lack of skills and know-how, and we are working to address it. By way of conclusion, a first summary, has it been worth it? Yes. We think that what we decided to go for is the right way. We know it's a long way that we have yet to go, but we have the feeling and the certainty that it's the right way forward. We are experiencing these first results as highly encouraging, and I hope that this example can also encourage you to pursue a similar approach that is suitable for your own medium, because that would strengthen and validate our model and help us to pursue our path courageously in future. Thank you.